We're out of closed session at 6:40 p.m. Any persons wishing to address the Board of Trustees regarding a matter that is not on the agenda must complete a request to address the trustees form and submit it to the recorder before the Pledge of Allegiance. Requests to address the board, written or verbal, will not be granted after the Pledge of Allegiance has begun.
Cualquier persona que quiera dirigirse a la mesa directiva referente a un asunto el cual no está en la agenda, tiene que llenar la forma petición de dirigirse a la mesa directiva y someterla al secretario antes del saludo del altar. Peticiones de dirigirse a la mesa directiva escritas orales no serán permitidas después de que la promesa del altar ha comenzado.
Open session at 6:40 p.m. Item number 1, report out of closed session. There's nothing to report tonight. Item number 5, Pledge of Allegiance. Can you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Salute. Pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Item 6, public comment.
We didn't have any public comment for this one.
Thank you, staff. Item number 7, presentations, performances, and introductions. Item number 1, highest annual attendance percentage.
Yeah, we want to recognize Myrtle Avenue School for having a 96.91 attendance rate. They're going on a perpetual plaque, and they were the winners last year for the highest attendance in our school district. So congratulations to Myrtle Avenue.
Congratulations. Item number 8, consent items.
Administration recommends that we adopt the consent item agenda as presented.
Thank you, staff. Any questions from the board on consent items?
Mr. President, on item 8.1, the minutes for this regular board meeting are not on there. I sent you an email yesterday, Antonio.
I didn't receive your email, but I'll look on that one. I know we've had that issue in the past with the new platform.
So I don't think that we can approve the regular board minutes since they're not on there. Unless someone else has them on their platform, and I did it just on, I missed on that issue. Does anyone have it on there?
I don't see it when I look online. I just see the organizational meeting.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So then,
So I would motion to approve 1 through 8.6 with the exception of on 8.1, the regular board meeting.
there's a motion on the floor by member Santana.
I'll second it.
Second on the, a second by member Lopez. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 9, personnel administration. Item number 1.
Mr. Board President, administration recommends to approve the classified personnel action items as noted on your agenda.
Thank you, staff. Any questions from board?
No questions.
No questions for that.
Is there a motion on the floor to approve?
I make a motion to approve item 9.1.
There's a motion on the floor by member Garay. Second.
All second?
Second by member Santana. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 9.2, public employee appointment, approval of employment contract of superintendent.
The administration highly recommends.
Any questions from the board?
No questions, Mr. President.
Questions?
Real quick, do I read this
Mhm.
before the approval
No.
or after?
Before.
Before? Okay. Any questions from the board on 9.2?
No question.
No questions.
The board will now consider a proposed 2021-2024 employment contract for the superintendent. The proposed contract calls for an initial base annual salary of $177,752 with increases of 0.05% on July 1st, 2022 and July 1st, 2023 based on a 224-day work year, along with health and welfare benefits as provided to certificated employees and payment of membership dues in 2 professional educational organizations. Is there a motion on the floor?
A motion to approve 9.2.
There's a motion on the floor by Member Lopez, second.
I will second that, Mr. President.
Second by Member Velasquez. Can staff pull roll?
Member Santana Garibaldo,
Yes.
Member Lopez,
Yes.
Member Garay,
Yes.
Member Velasquez,
Yes.
Member Tondo.
Yes. Motion carries.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let's move on to item 10, Business Administration.
Thank you.
Speech? No, I'm just kidding.
Let's move on to item number 10, Business Administration. Approve the purchase of 2 Ford F-250 trucks.
Administration recommends that we approve this action. This goes back to the discussion we had about the need to have these particular trucks in order to fulfill the mission and vision of the MOT department.
Any questions from the board on 10.1?
No questions.
There's only for one, isn't there, or am I not seeing this correctly?
It's only one quote, but it's 2 of the same deal.
Oh, okay, perfect. No further questions then.
Is there a motion on the floor to approve 10.1?
I'll motion to approve 10.1.
There's a motion on the floor by Member Santana. Second, please.
I second the motion.
Second by Member Garay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 10.2, approve resolution number 2021-10, contingent tax liability.
The administration suggests to approve this action. We received the bulletin as attached from our school's legal services. What this is everybody that owns property pays property taxes every year and they have the right to appeal those property taxes. This is just the amount of property tax revenue that we're expected to receive that is up for appeal. And so they have, the county controller's office provides us with the amount that's under for appeal, as well as interest and a total amount that could be subject to overcharged if the person wins their appeal. And currently it shows us what we have in our impound account to protect against this situation. And so currently what we have estimated, if everybody won their appeal, what we have impounded, we would have to pay out $238,000. Now we wouldn't have to pay it out specifically, we're not losing any money. The fact of the matter is it will be coming out of our property taxes. Technically, we weren't owed those property taxes if they win their appeal. So all that we're doing is just as a safeguard and to protect our cash flows is to put that money out of our property taxes, just to hold it on the side until the appeals process is complete.
Any questions from the board?
How long would they gonna be holding?
I'm not sure on the timeline for all the cases, but I know that they tell us to pull the collections out of our April and May time periods at a 50% rate to impound those monies. But I can get information on the appeals process timelines. I'm not sure if there's multiple appeals or how long that's. Yeah, but this is an annual item that they send us information information on. So every year, people generally will appeal some of their property taxes. And every year, in our impound account, we would either have a surplus or a negative amount. Theoretically, or technically, we don't have to impound this money, but we do run the risk of some monies being not ours that we have collected.
Okay, thank you.
And I'll also look into that appeals, or the timeline for that. Maybe I'll reach out to them and see if they can provide some guidance on what that looks like.
Okay, sounds good. Because actually, we don't remember about last year having this item to be.
No, we didn't present it last year.
Okay, that's where we.
No.
We have it. All right, thank you.
Any additional questions from board members? None?
No questions.
No questions, Mr. President.
Is there a motion on the floor to approve 10.2?
All motion to approve 10.2.
There's a motion on the floor by member Lopez, second please.
I'll second.
Second by member Santana, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. 10.3, approved to proceed with the design and submittal of plans to the Division of State Architect for the new proposed STEM Academy.
Yeah, administration recommends that we approve this item. It just basically gives the green light to continue with the design of the new STEM Academy school that we're slated for our plot of land out there on the Carnation and Panama. So just allows us to continue that path and to also explore possibilities of additional supports facilities that could possibly be placed on that lot as well. So highly recommend that we proceed. It goes with the facility plan that we adopted in 2018. Conjunction.
Thank you, staff. Any questions from board members?
No
No
questions.
questions, Mr. President.
Is there a motion on the floor to approve 10.3?
I'll make a motion to approve item 10.3.
There's a motion on the floor by member Gray, second please.
I'll make a motion to approve 10.3, Mr. President.
There's a second on the floor by member Velasquez, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Let's move on to item 11, items removed from consent calendar, none. Item number 12, policy review and development. Approve the first reading and adopt the board policies, administrative regulations, exhibits, and board bylaws presented.
Administration recommends that we approve the first reading of the current board policies as presented.
Thank you, staff. Any questions from board members on 12.1?
No questions.
No questions.
Thank you. Is there a motion on the floor?
Mr. President, I motion to approve item 12.1.
There's a motion on the floor by member Santana, second please.
I second that motion.
Second by member Gray, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 13, reports and communications, board member reports. Let's start off tonight with member Lopez.
No, I have nothing to report this time, Mr. President.
Thank you. Member Velasquez,
Nothing to report.
member Gray,
Nothing to report.
member Santana.
I attended the governor's budget meeting this month, and I hope I get invited to do the main revision as well, please. It's very informative, and everything that we are going to be learning about is going to be interesting to see how everything plays out. Nothing else to report.
Thank you, member Santana. Member Atondo, none to report tonight. Let's move on to superintendent report.
Beyond the items that are presented in the agenda, I just want to let you guys know that kindergarten registration will be occurring the month of February at all our various sites. We're not having a concentrated effort like we usually have it at the David Head Center. This time, because of the current conditions we find ourselves in, parents are going to have to make an appointment with at the respective sites. They'll have an appointment, they'll come in, we'll take all precautions necessary and walk them through that registration process for our students. We're making, I believe, available the vaccination
The clinics.
The clinic, thank you. That's the word I was at each of the sites, so parents can come and take care of those issues or those requirements before registering their students. So that's going on the whole month of pretty much the whole month of February, at both sites.
Where's that clinic gonna be?
Huh?
How's that clinic gonna work?
So the clinic is going to be here, and then, so the parents are gonna come here, so at the school sites, they're gonna tell them to come to the district's office at the parking lot right here. They're gonna set up back here.
Thank you very much for your report.
Oh, wait, the other concern, or the other thing that I wanted to bring to you guys' attention is, as indicated in my previous communications, is we did have a break-in over the weekend on the Alicante Wing 50. We do have camera view of the individuals. There was 4 individuals. They look like high school age students. We don't have a good visual of who they are, but we do have them on camera. We're exploring options as far as how possibly we can push that information out to the social media to see if somebody can identify them. A report was taken by the sheriff department. We did call. To the best of our knowledge, not much was taken. I think maybe a computer, if I recall correctly.
And a trash can, yes.
And a trash can.
They needed something to carry the stuff out.
Yeah. So,
Did this happen when?
I believe
Sunday night at
Sunday night?
7:15 p.m.
Yeah. And everything has been cleaned up, and I walked the buildings this morning, and it seems like, everything's back to normal.
Yeah, because I think around that time, they tried to break into my neighbor's house, but they weren't able to get in either, but they jumped and, so watch out. They're on the prowl. Yeah.
You know the specific time, so were we alerted as soon as it began and then, or how does that work? Since you know the specific time, or we were not alerted at all?
The alerting, I don't know about. I'm not the one who does the alerting, I'm just getting the camera footage. But I did see someone come out, I couldn't see who they were, at 7:45, so they had left about 7:23, so whoever was notified, yeah, they came out within 20 minutes.
District staff did respond, and they boarded up the facility, and they did a preliminary check and a preliminary walkthrough, and, it was in that time frame. They didn't take an inventory. It's hard for them. They don't know what's in the classrooms, so then they left it for the next day. But they did board up, and they just, they responded. We had 2 staff members respond.
Thank you.
And then finally, we'll be asking for a special board meeting to discuss the COVID update and our situation with the district. So we'll have a special board meeting for that and go over what we envision doing in the near future as far as possible options for in-person instruction for our students. So that'll be forthcoming in the near future.
Thank you very much. Let's move to Director 2, Instructional Services.
The report she's going to give is kind of a summation of academic achievement of our students for the current year. We've been discussing it as far as providing you some data to the board as far as how we're proceeding or how our students are doing. And we finally have some assessments that we can kind of analyze. And so Dina is going to be part of her report.
Okay, so to begin, I'm going to start just by going over really quick over the assessments or the components of the assessments of the students are taking right now from home. So on their computers, on their Chromebooks, they have access to the Renaissance app, and then they take the assessments like that. For kindergarten, however, they're one-on-one tests. So the teachers have to do a one-on-one test together with their instructional aides. So that takes more time and it's more difficult to do. So for ELA, for kindergarten, they test on uppercase letters, the letter names, uppercase, lowercase, letter sounds, uppercase, lowercase. In math, they do comparing objects, count to 100, and represent numbers to 1 through 10. For first grade, you can see that now they go into the Renaissance, and they take the early literacy test, okay? The early literacy test, I gave you a copy and it can be it's probably pretty small, but if you see here, for example, on the yellow arrow, it says phonemic awareness, and all the bolded areas or the darkened areas are the titles of the main components of the test, okay? And then the sub areas that you see under that, the ones with the arrow, with the blue arrow, are the ones covered in first grade. So I just want to show you this so you can see that the test is extremely comprehensive, and it is testing end of the year first grade expectations. Okay? Our second graders, 2nd through 8, actually take the STAR ELA and STAR Math. And they also take it on their computers through Renaissance. Okay? So some of the components are for STAR ELA, for example, is word knowledge and skills, comprehension strategies and constructing meaning, analyzing literary text. So all these, the STAR test is really aligned to the SBAC, also to our state standards, to grade level state standards. Our following benchmark or STAR ELA, because for this year we had to choose a benchmark that was virtual, so the students could take it from home. Okay? So we're not really doing our regular benchmarks that we take during non-COVID times. So our next benchmark is going to be February from the 22nd to March 5th. In math, I'm not even going to read it, but just so you see that the test is extremely comprehensive from all the way from kindergarten through 8th grade. Okay? So now I'm going to do the data so you guys can see how the kids are doing. So this is the kindergarten benchmark. The yellow ones you can see is the BOY, the beginning of the year test, and then the trimester 1. So for example, if you see on the left side it says letter name uppercase, letter name lowercase, those are the components, and then how they did on the test. So standards exceeded or met on the right hand up, right up. You see BOY, I'm just gonna go through a few of these so that way you guys can just see the whole picture. So letter names uppercase, we have BOY 17.39% of the students score standards met or exceeded, and then for trimester 1 we have 26.87. So there is a pretty good 10% growth. Letter names lowercase, we have 11.85, and they moved up to 20.67. And these are end of the year standards. So as long as they're progressing, that's what we want. And then the letter sounds and the letter sound short vowels. On this one, I put the participation rate, so just so you see that it's really the participation rate. If you see our attendance, it pretty much matches that. So all of our kids are taking the test. All of the students who are attending for that day. For Spanish ELA, we have only trimester 1, and you can see also, at least you can see the standards met or exceeded. For trimester 1, we have 26%, and for the lowercase, we have 22.56, letter sounds 30.07, so you can see the growth. For kindergarten math, I highlighted those two greens because these standards, as I said, they're for end of the year expectations, and you already have in 2 areas comparing objects and representing numbers. students performing, compare numbers especially, which is number sense, is really difficult. 83 point, over 83% of the students already mastering that. So that's amazing. And representing numbers, 52.21. Counting to 100 is really memorizing, so kids are still making, getting like the number sense. So that's gonna take a while, but these two other areas are over 50%. That's really amazing. So kindergarten teachers are doing good. So now on our next assessment is the early literacy test for first grade. So on this assessment, we have ELA and math together. For some reason, it just comes together like that. For our next trimester, we're gonna have first grade do also the start math. That way we can have two separate tests, okay? But we didn't know that when we get the data, that it doesn't, we can't get it separate. It comes together like this. So the BOY, you can see they have a 54%, and then trimester 1, they went up to 57%. The yellow one is the one moving right below meeting standard. So those are the students that are the target at the school side, so they can improve and hopefully move into the at or above benchmark. ELA and math in Spanish, we have 54% for BOY, and then trimester 1, 65%. For distance learning for 2nd and 8th grade, they do the STAR ELA and the STAR math. So for ELA 2nd grade, we have 31% and then 35% for science semester 1. So at least they're maintaining. ELA Spanish 2nd grade, we have 61% and then 65%. For 2nd grade math, we have 27% and then 64%. So that's a huge jump. For 3rd grade ELA, we have 28% and 27%. So there is a little bit of really just probably one kid who didn't score at grade level that made the difference. ELA Spanish 3rd grade, we have 55% and then 50%. 3rd grade math, we have BOY 37 and trimester 1 39%. 4th grade BOY, 4th grade ELA BOY of 20% and then trimester 1 23%. ELA Spanish 4th grade, we have 48% BOY and trimester 1 43%. 4th grade math, we have 29% BOY and trimester 1 34%. 5th grade ELA, BOY of 18% and then trimester 1 13%. So they lost some students there. ELA Spanish 5th grade, we have 50% and then it went to 48%. For 5th grade math, BOY of 30% and trimester 1 32%. 6th grade ELA, BOY of 12% and then trimester 1 13%. ELA Spanish 6th grade, we have BOY of 42.9% and then trimester 1 45%. 6th grade math, 28.4% and trimester 1 30%. Middle school. 7th grade, we have BOY of 18 and trimester 1 50% for ELA. Math, 7th day, we have 30% BOY, and trimester 1, 28.8%. ELA, 8th grade, we have 16% BOY, and trimester 1, 17.4. And last, math, 8th grade, we have BOY of 35%, and trimester 1, 35%. So you can see that most of our grade levels are making progress. And so for those students who may need extra support, so what are we doing as a district for those students? So we already have an after-school intervention program that we're setting up for TK through 6. So TK through 6, they're coming 4 days a week. They're gonna be getting reading and mathematics every day for 4 days a week. For the dual immersion students, they'll get 2 days in English and 2 days in Spanish for reading, but math would be all English. And then for 7th and 8th grade, they'll be getting all reading. For the program, we're not using just a reading program or a math program. We actually found a response to intervention program. The importance that it is a response for intervention is that it's adaptive. So the student would be able and diagnostic, which means that the student takes a test, and according to the student's level, then the program starts giving the students mini lessons, and then it starts giving the students the practice for that. And then it assesses the student again, and if the student needs more practice, gives them more lessons, or if the student has to keep on going, moves the student along. So it's very individualized to the student. Every computer already, every student has the app, the station app. So we're gonna be having training with the people who are gonna be doing the intervention. We're gonna be having 3 days of training already. And so we can go over the station and how to ELA in Spanish. So that was very important for us too, that the program was able to support not just our English program, but also our dual immersion students. And it's all the way from K through 8. You guys have any questions in the meantime? Please put that first.
Any questions so far from board? Questions?
The program is very child friendly, and for the 7th and 8th grade, it's more like science looking. For the lower grades, it's like a game, but the program is extremely child friendly. We already sent out the form to all the parents, and I know we just purchased also a program that the application is also online, so the parents can fill it out online. We also provided in the envelope, when the application was sent out to the parents, we provided a self-addressed, district self-addressed envelope, so the parents can just send it back to us. Okay. The form, we added a few lines, so the parent can use just one form. If they have 2 or 3 students, they can use just one form for the whole family. Student outreach, we have, I know we send out a letter to the parent. Now it's online, and I know also Jessica sent out email. It tells you, it gives you a report, Aries gives you a report, so email how many people actually got the email and how many people got the text. So we have 2,718 parents who got the text, and emails 351. Also online, if you go to our LESD webpage, The two forms are there, so English application and Spanish application. So on the text the parents receive, they also receive the links. So that way they wanna do it on the phone and fill it out on the phone, they can do that. So we just wanna make it super easy for the parents to register the students.
Do we already have a lot of applications being turned in?
Yes, we already have a lot of them. If you guys have any questions.
Is there gonna be a maximum amount of students that we're gonna accept for these programs, or it's everybody?
We'll wanna try to get everybody. Yeah.
This is our first rollout of, we've been having dialogue, what do we do with the academic achievement gap that continues to increase? And so this is our first layer of things that we are preparing to do. There's more to come. The governor is providing some additional monies for this area, so there's gonna be some request of just either some additional staffing to provide the programs that we're gonna implement, and or some type of program, additional programs that we will be implementing. So just wanted to give you a prelude of what to expect in this area, but it's something that it's gonna be evolved and expanding and provide that enrichment and or intervention instruction that our students are gonna need.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's move on to Director 2 Administrative Services.
Nothing to report at this time.
Thank you very much. Let's move on to item 14, correspondence, school site board updates.
They're all in the packet for you. We made sure we tracked them all down and threatened them if they didn't.
Item number 2, department board updates. Those are in our package as well. Okay. Item number 15, do we need to go into closed session?
I don't have anything unless some of you have something.
Does the board need anything? No?
We're good?
I will go adjournment of the meeting at 7:17. Is there a motion on the floor?
I motion.
There is a motion on the floor by member Santana. Second, please.
Seconded.
Second by member Lopez. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
So we'll send out the email or the invite for that